Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Central PA fishing report with George Costa of TCO Fly Shop in State College. How you doing, George?
I'm amazing as always, Marvin. How are you?
And as always, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble, which is a good thing to do during the holiday season.
Indeed.
So I took a quick look at your weather, and you've probably got 3 or 4, I guess we would call Pennsylvania warm days, and then it's going to become Pennsylvania cold, right?
Exactly. A couple warm days here. We're supposed to get some rain in the next, 2 to 3 days. They're calling for a bit of rain, not too much, but we'll take it. We're pretty low, pretty clear right now, which is par for the course for this time of year. We have not gotten any snow yet, and who knows what we'll get if we get any at all. So we'll take the rain in lieu of any snow. So water's low and clear. Temps are, getting pretty cold on the water. We've had chilly nights, so fish are pretty much done spawning. There's a few still here and there on reds, so keep your eyes peeled when you're out on the water. Reds are definitely fresh though, so watch where you step more than where you fish right now. Don't want to crush those little baby trout swimming around there. And reports have been just steady for this time of year where guys are catching fish. Nymphing is going to be good. Streamers on darker, cloudier days, but it's low and clear, so a little tougher, a little more technical. We'd like to see a little more color to the water. So get out there midday when it's a little warmer, but longer leaders and a little more technical fishing is where we're at right now.
Yeah, so I imagine that if that rain kind of clouds things up, it'd be a great time to get out and pull streamers.
Absolutely. If we get a little bit of color from the rain coming over this weekend, that would be ideal. Just get a little color to that water. Just give those trout a little more comfort. They get a little dirty water. They're not as skittish. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and any hatches you want to share with folks?
No.
Well, that's honest.
Not really. I mean, if you want to go beat the water with a midge, or there might be an olive here and there for 20 minutes throughout the day, but there's really nothing hatching right now. We're not going to see any decent hatches of anything through. You get a couple of midges here and there. You'll get olives throughout the winter if you get days up in the 40s, but nothing significant. If you want to stand there with a dry fly all day long, knock your socks off. I don't have that kind of patience.
Yeah, there you go. So you won't have any black stone flies later in the winter?
No, not till February. We don't see those till mid-February, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
So we got a little while on them.
Yeah, got it. And we have a question, and I have to apologize to Andrew because, in an analog world, this got lost in the shuffle on my desk. But we are going to answer your question this time, Andrew. And Andrew's a new fly fisherman. Sounds like he's been fishing Spring Creek quite a bit, and he really wanted to kind of get your thoughts, George, on kind of good late fall, early winter nymph, streamer, and wet fly patterns.
Oh, okay. So specific patterns this time of year, definitely an egg is something you really should be running. People poo-poo it sometimes, but hey, if you want to catch fish this time of year, that's what they're eating. Everybody's matching the hatch. They're eating eggs right now. So little eggs, I like them small for trout. So 14s, even 16s, little tiny orange, cream color eggs is going to be a definite this time of year moving into winter pattern. And Perdigons have been really producing well for us over the past couple of years. They get down to the bottom fast. They work well. Orange and olive are great. Darker colored mayflies are always good. And Spring Creek we tend to like a little smaller. So 16s, 18s, 20s, anything black. France fly, small pheasant tail in like an 18. Darker mayfly patterns work well. Scuds and sow-bugs are always staples as well on Spring Creek. You really can't go wrong with a little olive scud and about a 16. That makes up a huge portion of the trout side on Spring Creek. So stick with those basic things. Don't need to get anything fancy, and just stick with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're a smaller streamer guy, so if you had to pick a couple streamers for Spring Creek, what would you pick?
Streamers, I like a peanut envy in, smaller sizes like 4 and 6. A little dungeons work good too. Headbangers will work, but smaller, lighter patterns, especially when the water is low and clear. You don't need anything big with a lot of weight. So keep your streamers, sparkle minnows in about a 2-inch size. 6 sparkle minnows, a great pattern. but keep them small for Spring Creek. 2-3 inches max, I think, is about the best size for Spring Creek. Some of the bigger water around here, the J or Penns, you can get a little bigger. You can go like 3-4 inch streamer if you want, maybe 5 inch if you're feeling bold. So, but keep your streamer patterns smaller, and olives and blacks tend to work best around here.
Got it. And I would imagine that until you get kind of closer to spring, it's probably not really worth thinking that much about wet flies.
Yeah, wet flies, I wouldn't bother fishing them at all until there's an emerging hatch. So wet fly patterns is, that's more of a granum hatch, or, when we start getting end of May, beginning of April, when we start seeing granums, that's when you want to swing your wet fly. Swinging flies in the winter is asking a lot. You're asking for a trout to move in the winter, which they don't want to do to begin with. And that's meant to be an emerging insect. And since we don't have any insects emerging, trout are not going to be, looking for that. And they're not going to want to move for one random wet fly swung in front of them. If there's a million insects coming up and they're moving back and forth, getting a morsel every time they move, they're going to do it. In the winter, I think swinging the wet flies is beating a dead horse. I don't think that's an effective pattern at all in the wintertime.
Well, there you go. And Andrew, if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to hit us up. And folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us, shoot them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. And if we use your question, I will send you some Articulate Fly swag, and you'll be entered in a drawing for something cool from the shop, which we'll probably draw for early in 2022. And George, before I let you hop, you want to let folks know about your holiday hours and all that kind of good stuff?
Certainly. We're here Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Sundays, we're here 9 to 3. For the holidays, we are doing 9 to 3 on Christmas Eve, closed Christmas Day, closed New Year's Day, and 9 to 3 on New Year's Eve as well. So we'll be around. We're here. Get your last-minute gifts and, come into the shop or get us on the web at tcoflyfishing.com.
Yeah, and even though it's getting cold and you may not be thinking about getting out on the water, folks, it's a great time of year if you're really into giving people experiences instead of hard goods to get a gift certificate for a guide trip, too.
For sure. Then you can see my smiling face.
Yeah, there you go. And your new garlic tattoo.
Exactly.
Well, listen, folks, this is our last fishing report of the year, and I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in tight lines. Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, bro. Take care.